Well, this is a PowerPoint covering Genesis chapter 7. Then the Lord said to Noah, "Go into the ark, you and all your household, for I have seen that you are righteous before me in this generation. Take with you 7 pairs of all clean animals, the male and his mate, and a pair of the animals that are not clean, the male and his mate, and 7 pairs of the birds of the heavens also, male and female, to keep their offspring alive on the face of all the earth. For in 7 days I will send rain on the earth 40 days and 40 nights, and every living thing that I have made I will blot out from the face of the ground." And Noah did all that the Lord had commanded him. Having made the ark according to God's direction, Noah is now told to embark. He is instructed to take on board 7 pairs of all clean animals and a pair of the animals that are not clean. On the distinction between clean and unclean creatures, see Leviticus 11 and Deuteronomy 14. Since after the flood, some clean animals will be offered as sacrifices and some will be eaten as food. To ensure their survival, it was necessary to have more than 1 pair of each kind on the ark. Noah was 600 years old when the flood waters came upon the earth. And Noah and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives with him went into the ark to escape the waters of the flood. Of clean animals and of animals that are not clean, and of birds and of everything that creeps on the ground, 2 and 2, male and female, went into the ark with Noah, as God had commanded Noah. And after 7 days the waters of the flood came upon the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, on the 17th day of the month, on that day all the fountains of the great deep burst forth, and the windows of the heavens were opened, and rain fell upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. On the very same day, Noah and his sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of his sons with them, entered the ark. They and every beast according to its kind, and all the livestock according to their kinds, and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth according to its kind, and every bird according to its kind, every winged creature. They went into the ark with Noah, 2 and 2, of all flesh in which there was the breath of life. A peculiar feature of the flood narrative is the number of detailed chronological notices. By pinpointing the exact date of the flood within Noah's life, the text underlines that it was a real event. All of the fountains of the great deep burst forth, and the windows of the heavens were opened. This is powerful imagery used to capture the intensity of the flood. From below and above, water poured out to cover the land. Rain fell continuously for 40 days and 40 nights. And those that entered, male and female of all flesh, went in as God had commanded him, and the Lord shut him in. The safety of those in the ark depended on both human and divine action. The use of God's personal name here, Yahweh, underscores God's special relationship with Noah. Whenever we read Lord in all caps, we should think relationship. The flood continued 40 days on the earth. The waters increased and bore up the ark, and it rose high above the earth. The waters prevailed and increased greatly on the earth, and the ark floated on the face of the waters. And the waters prevailed so mightily on the earth that all the high mountains under the whole heaven were covered. The waters prevailed above the mountains, covering them 15 cubits deep. And all flesh died that moved on the earth, birds, livestock, beasts, all swarming creatures that swarm on the earth, and all mankind. Everything on the dry land in whose nostrils was the breath of life died. He blotted out every living thing that was on the face of the ground, man and animals, creeping things, and birds of the heavens. They were blotted out from the earth. Only Noah was left, and those who were with him in the ark. And the waters prevailed on the earth 150 days. The devastating results of the flood are described, fulfilling the judgment that God had previously pronounced. Verse 24 mentions that the waters prevailed on the earth for 150 days. The figure of 150 days, which includes the 40 days of rain mentioned in verse 12, is repeated in Genesis 8:3. In both places, it denotes the 5-month period that falls between the detailed chronological notices given in Genesis chapter 7, verse 11. This 5-month period marks the start of the flood on the 17th day of the second month, and then in Genesis chapter 8, verse 4, when the ark comes to a place of rest on the 17th day of the 7th month. It will be a further 7 months before land is sufficiently dry for those in the ark to disembark safely. So all in all, the 5 months followed by the 7 months for the ground to dry equals 12 months that Noah and his family was in the ark. This graph I found in my study Bible, and it shows the chronology of Noah's time in the ark with references and dates given.